Welcome back, everyone, to episode 6 of the Minot Business Podcast, presented by Bennett Creative Media. I'm your host, Easton Bennett, and once again, we have another wonderful guest, our first female guest, Presley Aannerud. Presley, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hi.
Are you excited to be on the show? The first female. How does that feel to be the first female guest we've had on the Minot Business Podcast?
It's a lot of pressure. I hope I do well.
You're going to have to live up to it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So we're going to get right into it. A little bit of an introduction. I know you because you're a photographer, but for the people that don't know you, what do you do besides a photographer? A little bit more in detail. What do you do?
I guess I wear so many hats as a business owner.
Yep.
I am a photographer. Obviously, I take photos of everything.
By everything, what do you mean? You do weddings? You do senior photography? You do families? What do you do?
I love seniors, but yes, I do weddings, families, all the good stuff.
Okay.
Babies, children.
Do you have a favorite?
Seniors are my favorite.
Okay. Not weddings?
I mean, we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
I really do love weddings. There's just so much work, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's fulfilling at the end of the day. It's amazing to watch. It's like the most important day of people's lives. So
Yeah. That and when they get divorced?
oh my God.
If they do, I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
like 50%. It's like 50%.
It is. I just looked that up the other day. It is 50%. And that's a wild number.
But if you're on the good side of the 50%, then you should be good to go.
Yeah.
But so introduction, you do families, you do pretty much everything under the sun, right?
Yes.
So how did you get started into photography? Were you always interested in photography, or, when did that kind of click for you?
I've been carrying around a camera since I was literally a child.
Really?
So yeah, my parents bought me a Barbie Polaroid when I was like 4 or 5, and literally would just walk around with that camera and snap photos of everyone. I have literally photo albums of the photos that I've taken as a kid.
Really? Were they
Yeah.
good? Or
They were very interesting to look back. I haven't looked at them in a long time, but
okay.
yeah, I would just literally take photos of my dog. all that
Barbie
kind of stuff.
Polaroid. My parents didn't give me one of those, but
I have it with me. That's my passion project.
okay.
Is the Barbie Polaroid.
Can we show it on the show?
Yeah, I can show you.
Let's show
It's
it.
super
We're gonna
cute.
take a small pause, and she's gonna bring out this Polaroid.
It's super cute. Okay, so backstory. When I had my Barbie Polaroid, I obviously haven't used it since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so I think I lost it. So I actually replaced it with this one.
A new Barbie Polaroid.
It's new, but it's actually still like one of the originals.
Okay.
So I found a website. They refurbished them. So
Look at that.
I know, it's so cute.
Oh my.
Okay, cut that. But this is what it is. Yeah, this is my passion project. I walk around with this and
you just snap a photo?
yeah, snap a photo.
Okay.
I've like practiced on my dog so far, but
And you have to put it, those are the Polaroid films right there.
yeah, these are just
Or what
little cartridges. Can you believe that this is the battery for that camera? It doesn't take batteries.
Just really?
This
I had no idea.
is the battery for it.
Interesting. So you started on the Barbie Polaroid, and then you kind of just always knew you wanted to do photo from there?
Yeah, I had someone who was like a close family friend. She was a photographer. She actually owned a photography business in town for like about 20 years. And when I graduated high school, I worked with her for a few years, and that really solidified that I wanted this to be my job. So
when you were going through high school and everything, did you take like the photography classes and all that?
I took every photography and computer class that was available at the time.
Interesting. See, I didn't take anything.
Yearbook was my jam. I absolutely loved that class.
Who is the teacher of that now? Because I think Mason Kramer teaches it now.
Mason is the teacher now. He's awesome too.
Yeah.
I feel like we
just drove past him the other day. Or not the other day, like an hour ago. Nathan's behind the camera here, but we just drove past him.
Yeah, you should have him on the podcast too, because he's like obviously awesome.
Yeah, he's on the list.
But I don't remember who the teacher was. I think it was like Mrs. Smith. Was her name. But yeah, all 4 years of high school, yearbook, any computer class, all that kind of stuff.
And then after high school, what was your route? Did you go to school for photography? Like to college, or did you not? I honestly don't even know this myself.
So,
or maybe I do. I don't know.
After high school, I was like, okay, am I
Spill that. Big cup. Big gulps.
After high school, I kind of had like a small freak out moment, and I was like, I don't know if I am cut out to own my own business. I don't know if I'm definitely, I struggle with the business portion. I don't struggle with the photography portion of my business. So I had a freak out moment, and I was like, do I go to college? Do I not go to college? Like, what do I do? So I got a part-time job, and I did photography on the side. Never went to like traditional college. And then maybe like a year after doing that, I moved to Montana and went to a photography school there for a few months. So.
Okay. So what was the deciding factor after you were out for a year? Why did you decide that, okay, I want to go to photography school?
Well, after having so many people take a chance on me, like letting
take a chance on me.
like letting them like let me take their photo, I was like, okay, I have enough people that trust me to do this. I should get proper training. And along with working with the photographer here in town for a few years, I learned so many things just like hands-on from her.
Okay.
I really just needed to go to the school to more so learn Lightroom, Photoshop, really how my camera works, all of that kind of stuff. So that's what I did for a couple of months, and it was very beneficial. So
you went to, was it a photography school, or was it like a traditional school with a photography degree? How does it? Excuse me. How does that work?
It was a trade school. So it's called summer intensive and professional intensive.
Okay.
So summer intensive is what I did. It's only for the summer, maybe like 2 or 3 months. Okay. It's just a fast-paced version of professional intensive. Professional intensive goes into like literally how to run a business. Okay. So I just thought I'm just gonna go.
Give me the skills.
Yeah, give me the skills. I guess I'm gonna learn the business side on my own, along with my parents have helped me out along the way. So that's what I did. I just went to the summer intensive and was like a sponge and grasped everything that I could, came back and just started working.
So what would your advice be for people that are thinking about going, whether or not they want to go to, say it's photography school or any type of schooling versus not? Do you have any advice for those people?
I don't like to give people advice on schooling because I just
you never know what's right. Yeah, you never know what's right for
literally to each their own. I enjoyed the school that I went to. It was a lot of fun. I made a lot of friends. I learned a lot of stuff. I do want to say though, I learned probably just as much, if not more, from being another photographer's assistant for like the 4.5 years that I worked with her.
So take that with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Make your own decision. But I mean, schooling it's right for some people. It's not right for others. Like I personally didn't go to school, but some people need that schooling.
School of YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube University, I always say.
YouTube is a great place to learn a lot of things.
Oh, especially in 2022 now, like you can learn literally anything on the internet.
Literally. Or I can just call or text you and you'll send me a 30-second video of, it's insane. The videos on YouTube that are like 20 minutes and then I'll text you and you'll be like 30-second video.
That's my
do
biggest
this,
pet
this.
peeve. If YouTube video, if it's a 3-step thing, it doesn't need to be a 20-minute YouTube video.
Seriously.
Just make a 4-minute YouTube video and call it a day.
Who has like the time, patience, attention for that?
So I want to transition a little bit into more of the business side now. So when you were getting started in your photography business, you said you didn't really know the business side of things. How was it starting not knowing the business?
Really scary. I literally knew nothing about how to own a business. I thought about taking those classes in high school, but I was like, I just didn't know at the time if it was going to be my job or not. Yep. It was really scary. Everything was trial and error. Okay. For sure. So.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with me. I didn't know anything about the business side of things. And then I decided, we're just going to try to make videos. Yeah. And then you figure out
when
the
you
business
make a mistake, when you made a mistake.
And that's a good segue into, is there any big mistakes that happened where you were like, shit, like I shouldn't have done this? Or, are there any lessons you learned along the way that's like, if I would have went to business school, maybe I would have learned this, or not really?
I don't know if I've had any like super big mistakes that I've made. I do know. I wish I would have done a little bit more research into like how to spend my money and what to spend my money on. Because
did you just blow it in the beginning or what?
I didn't just blow my money in the beginning, but I think I should have done more of, I don't know how to say it, maybe just more research into the things that I was buying. There are a lot of lenses that I have that I now just don't use because I realized I'm a 24-70. I love that lens. I need the 70 to 200. Yeah, I need the 70 to 200 for weddings, but I don't use it other than that. So just like doing research and like really thinking about what do I need, spend my money on that, and just be, not like, it's not like you just can't spend your money on stuff because I mean, you need all of the equipment to get the job done at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you need to spend your money somewhere. It's just, I know when I buy equipment and like I watch every single video there is on it. I read a bunch of different articles.
You did a lot more research than me.
And then but there's other times when I'm just like, oh, that looks cool. I'll buy it. So it's so on the both ends.
I'm a sucker for like, oh, that does that. Done.
A marketer's
in
dream.
In the cart.
Presley Aannerud is a marketer's dream, it sounds like.
I am.
So talking a little bit about the process now, what do you enjoy about the process of owning your own business? Are there any things you really enjoy about it? And why?
What do I enjoy about owning my own business?
Or what do you hate?
Well, what I enjoy about owning my own business is I am my own boss. But what I hate about owning my own business is I am my own boss. So I make my own schedule. I'm the person that you're in contact with 24/7. I answer all the questions, all of that stuff. So I do love my job. It's fantastic. It's a lot of work. And I think when people think that they're going to own their own business, they don't.
I feel like they only look at it being, I'm my own boss. I get financial freedom.
Right. And yeah, it's difficult being your own boss. There are so many things that I've learned that you just don't even think about, like packaging. Before I owned my own business, I never thought about
like the photos and everything and how you're going to deliver them.
Okay, I made your wedding album. Like, what do I put in it? I'm not going to give it to you in a cardboard box.
A sock.
Yeah, we're just like reading a sock. Here you go. Slide across the table. Just like little things like that. Like I never, before I even like really started, I never thought about those little details. And those little details are the things that people really notice sometimes the most. It's like how you present things, the way that you make them feel, stuff like that. So,
and I think it's the little things that honestly make a good business different than just a regular normal business. You know
paying attention to the details.
Yes, exactly.
You're really good at paying attention to details.
Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I was supposed to email that person a week ago, but you know what?
I love working with you though, because you always have a checklist on your phone and you go click, click, click
when you're
down the line.
Shot lists are incredible. Do you do shot lists when you're taking photos, or do you just kind of mentally know the poses and the
mentally I can remember most of it. The only time I would really have a shot list is for a wedding, which is understandable. That's like a big day and you don't want to miss a moment.
Is that something the bride and groom give you, or is that something you just have on your own?
I let them basically pick what poses that they like, stuff like that. What do you want? Like super documented. So if they really want photos of a lot of their guests, I tell them you need to specify that to me. Okay, if you want a lot of photos of your
freak out after.
Right. Well, and some people have really older grandparents and they want a lot of photos of their grandparents and that's like really special to them. So I need to know those details so I can pull you aside like on your wedding day and get a nice photo of you and your grandma, because it could be your last one.
Yeah.
So
as far as working with clients, so you work with clients on a grand scale from, families to
I work with a lot of people. I was just thinking about that this morning.
What is the process like? Like, do you have any advice or tips for making the experience working with these people the best it can be? Like, what does your process look like for, the consultation and everything throughout?
So I have a consultation with all seniors and all couples for engagement and wedding photos.
Okay.
And basically what that is me just sitting down and you telling me what's your story. If you're a senior, for example, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? Do you have a dog? Do you have a car? Do you like to go to a certain coffee shop?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like nature versus downtown? I need to know who you are as a person in order to bring that forward in your photos.
Okay.
And when I have certain details, your photos are they just stand out more because it's just literally you coming.
Would you say that's the
photos.
important of like asking questions in these types of meetings?
You need to ask as many questions as you can about who you're working with, because if you don't know a special detail and you find out about special detail after and you realize you didn't get that, they can come back and maybe be upset. You could be in trouble.
I feel like that goes for any business. Like photo and video, we're both in kind of the same world. But even like when you're purchasing a car, like I just got a new truck and it's like,
I know. Do I get to take it for a test drive?
I don't know if I can let you drive.
Test ride.
We'll throw you in the bed of the truck.
Do I get to at least sit in it?
Yes. But like they ask a ton of questions when you go through that. And you know, when you're purchasing one, you ask a ton of questions. They have this feature, this feature, this feature. And I think it just goes for any business that, you know, the importance of asking questions is really important.
Yeah, that goes back to like wedding days. If you have certain people, details, things you need photographed, we need to know that so we can document that for you.
Yeah. And I want to transition a little bit more now into the marketing side of things. We are, you know, younger business owners, I would say, in the grand scheme of things. What is the importance of marketing, you know, yourself, whether that's word of mouth or on social media?
Social media is our best friend, I feel like, but also word of mouth is probably even better than social media. We just live in a world now where I think businesses have to have social media. But I get a lot of my clients word of mouth.
Really?
So yeah.
Would you say that's like your number one
yes.
lead gen?
Yeah, because it's funny. I'll take someone's just like random couples photos and then maybe like a month later I have her best friend and her boyfriend and it's like, oh, you two are friends.
Do you have more friends?
Yeah. I just did a wedding last weekend and one of the bridesmaids is going to be my bride at the end of this year. So
really?
Yeah, if you get like one wedding, you kind of sometimes get most of the bridal party because like all your friends all get married around the same time.
That seems like a lock.
Yeah.
So if you treat one right, you get them all.
Yes. Yeah. Don't burn any bridges, as I've heard you say.
Yes. Well, yeah, we
podcast.
talked about that in a previous episode. It's just burning bridges. Like, you never know, even if you're like bad to one bride, not even bad, but if the experience isn't like top notch, she might have 5-6 friends that they're not going to go with you just because a friend went with you and didn't love it.
Yeah. It's all about, and I'm like naturally a friendly person. So when I show up to take your wedding photos, I'm obviously going to chum it up with all of your bridesmaids and groomsmen because there's the potential that I could get them as my clients later on.
Unless they're married, then she's like, I don't want to talk to you guys. Get
or they're
out
part of the bad 50%.
Yeah. And then you're like, hey, you're going to get married again? You plan on getting married again?
If you married again, remember me.
So what are some strategical moves you've made? Maybe not moves, but what are some things you try to implement in your own marketing strategy?
What do you mean? Do you have an example?
Like
what do you do?
I post on Instagram and TikTok and I create YouTube videos and I have this podcast.
Right. Well, I guess I wouldn't say I'm known for it. But I do, if you're a senior or if it's a wedding or really any other type of photo shoot that I do, I like to tell a story through Instagram stories.
Okay.
So it's quick little 10-second snippets of your session.
Like almost like behind the scenes type.
Yeah, behind the scenes. Put it up on Instagram story, put some nice little heart-touching music behind it, and then your post goes up after, and yeah, that's what I do. That's part of my little
That's your thing. That's Presley Aannerud's special sauce. Yeah, because I know when you started doing that, you texted me asking about a phone gimbal. Are you still using that?
So I have an assistant. It's my brother Griffin.
Shout out Griffin.
Shout out Griffin. He's the real businessman MVP. He does all my stuff on photo shoots that I don't want to do. Like this past weekend, I stress this so much. You have to ask for permission for the places that you're going if it's someone else's space. Which I do. I always reach out, call, text, email, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we ended up going to a different area than what the person wanted. And so I was like, okay, we can go there. Well, when we showed up, the owner of the space was there.
Okay.
And so I was like, Griffin,
Please go ask.
can you just go ask him really quick? And he was super nice and he let us be there. But yeah, you have to ask for permission before you go.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
I mean, I wouldn't even, I probably would just go somewhere randomly and just start shooting. But
I mean, you can, but like if those people that like own that land, like sunflowers, some people like don't go in their sunflowers and like don't want you in their space, understandably so. So yeah. Did I answer your question? I don't even know.
Yeah, you did. I mean, and I see you posting all the time. So you'll take photos, edit them, and then post to show. Do you think, do you get a lot of engagement from that, from families that reach out and say, oh my gosh, I saw your pictures on Facebook, that kind of thing?
Yes, I did like a raffle recently where someone won a free photo shoot from me.
Okay.
And when I went to their house, they used it as a newborn session. And she's like, I see your stuff everywhere. You've taken senior photos of
that's awesome.
A girl that is our neighbor out at the lake. And I was like, small world. And now I'm doing more family photos for them. So yeah, it's like a little web.
I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the photography world is like, once you get the top, it just spreads out and you get a bunch more from it.
Yeah, it spreads out like little roots.
Yeah, because how often do people get family photos? Like once a year usually?
I have families who come back every year and do updated family photos.
Okay.
But yeah, there are some families who every like 10 years, which I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Every like couple of years you need updated.
Every 10 years. You're like, all right, we're 47 now.
Yeah. Well, that's how it works. Yeah.
I suppose, yeah, because you see people's family pictures on the wall, and then it's like, that was
the last time we had family photos, he was 5.
That was 2008. Your kid's in college now.
Yeah.
So now I want to go a little bit into some successes and failures. That was a tough word to get out there. So did you have any, in the beginning when you were starting, some successes or moments where maybe you were doubting yourself, like, okay, I don't know if I can own this business. And then something happened where you kind of fist pumped to yourself saying, okay, maybe this is something I can do.
I am one of those people, I don't like to give myself a whole lot of credit.
Okay.
I just like head down, keep working kind of person.
Head to the grindstone.
Yes. But every once in a while, I will kind of pick my head up and be like, you've created a community for yourself, which is amazing. I mean, all these people that I've met throughout the years of doing what I do, I'm so thankful for everyone. But yeah, I nose to the grindstone. Is that the
It's
saying?
something like that. Something to the grindstone.
I'm bad with sayings.
I'm usually pretty good with them,
remember them.
That one's not worth remembering. Do you have any, now on the flip side of things, do you have any failures? I think I probably asked that earlier, but
failures.
Anything you can remember that you're like, ooh, really messed that shoot up, or like, have you ever like deleted a bunch of photos on accident? Or like,
I freaked out and I called you or texted you. I lost someone's headshots and I had to do them over again. But the great thing about when you're honest with your clients is they're willing to do it over again if you're honest with them. So if you messed up and you say, it's my bad, lighting was bad, your tie was completely crooked and didn't notice, like, whatever, they'll do it over again. You just have to be honest with them.
So there's the business tip of the day. Just be honest with the people. Because there's times like I've deleted, I think the first wedding I ever shot, which I don't shoot weddings anymore. Horrible.
Do you want to shoot my wedding?
No, I don't.
Yes,
Sorry,
you do.
no, I don't think I do.
Yeah,
I'll crash the wedding, but
that's fine.
Well, you might not want me to shoot it after this story, but
I still trust you.
The first wedding I shot was up in Canada for my Bill mom's sister, and wedding went great and everything. I filmed everything, went back, edited some of the video, had all of the footage, and then my hard drive was full. So then I transferred the footage to a new hard drive. I was going to edit off of that. And I'll tell you this much, people, when you're editing things, if you're in the video world, photo world, just if you start a project on one thing, finish it on that thing. Don't be moving stuff around, because I moved it around, didn't look at it for like a week, deleted the footage off the old one, came back, And everything
never delete until you're fully done with something.
Everything from the first dance or the father-daughter dance or whatever, all the dance was gone. Everything. Ooh. And like the second half of the speeches.
Did you at least have the father-daughter dance?
No. I didn't have the
no,
none of it. Yeah. Oh, no. I didn't have any of the dancing. Not even like is it the first dance? Is that what it's called?
Father-daughter, mother-son. Yeah.
And those the first dance with like the bride and groom. Gone.
Yeah, well, that goes first, then father-daughter, and then mother-son.
So yeah, I lost it all, and I put the video together, and it's still decent. But then they were like, "Hey, do you have that footage?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm an idiot." And then the next wedding, I almost missed the first kiss because it was such a fast ceremony. The one after that,
okay. Oh, well, that may be a fail of mine. My very first wedding almost missed the first kiss, but I was like,
"Did you snag it?"
I did snag it. Okay. But yeah, Yeah, you have to know. That's another thing is you ask questions. You need to know the timeline because if you miss moments, bridezilla.
Yeah, there's one bridezilla story where the bride somehow got in my vehicle and I just met her that morning because I was shooting it for someone else.
Yeah.
And we were driving to the first look and she was calling her name, she was calling her mom some profound names.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like not good things. No. And especially not good things to tell to a stranger that you just met that morning. And I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I can't believe this bride.
So did you not do a consultation or anything with her before? You didn't know her?
Didn't know her. Because I had another video person reach out and say, hey, I can't shoot this wedding. Can you shoot it on Saturday?
Right.
Her name is so-and-so. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. So I showed up, met her that morning. And I was like, obviously I'm not going to say her name, but met her that morning and I was like, she is the worst person alive.
Yeah. Well, that's the importance of doing a consultation is you can tell right away if someone's going to be a bridezilla or not. I hate to use that term, but like you know, but then that just makes it so you can kind of alter yourself to ultimately make it easier for yourself on that day.
Yeah. And she was saying some crazy things and I just told her, I was like, oh, I got to go set up the drone in the back of my vehicle. So I got out. The drone was already set up. I already had everything done. But I was
just need some air.
I was going to go out there. And then, they went to the first look. She was acting a fool there too. And I was like, this is wild. But
that's a wedding day for you.
Yeah.
They're just under so much stress. They have had this planned in their head since they were children. And it needs to go the way that they've seen it in their head for years. And they want it to be perfect. And nothing is ever fully perfect. It can be close to perfect if you tell your photographer everything they need to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's such big days, and it's kind of stressful.
Too much pressure for me. But that's the nice thing about not shooting weddings is any other videos you can just redo. I can be like, hey, I screwed this up. Let's reshoot it.
Yeah.
So, and usually people are willing to do that. Only a couple more questions for you here. Do you have any favorite photographers that you kind of look up to inspiration wise?
Favorite photographers? Well, obviously the photographer that I worked with for a few years here, her work is amazing. Other photographers, I'm kind of one of those people where I want to go since, like here, there's only so many places we can go to like take photos.
Yep.
You can make your own kind of location if you want, but I like to go into everything with just like a fresh mind. I don't want to be like, oh, this person took a really great photo here at this location. I'm going to like do it exactly like that. If I see something, I'll put my own twist on it. But I kind of just like to go into things with like a fresh mind, and that's how you kind of make your work stand out. Yeah, because you never want to be caught copying someone, but you just want to go into it with like a fresh mind. So I kind of, on social media, maybe take a step back. I still look at people's stuff, but I kind of don't fixate on it for too long because you do want to just... That's why people are coming to you or pick you specifically is because
for your
style and how you picture something. So yeah.
Sweet. Well, I only got one more question for you. What is Presley Aannerud's North Star? Where do you want this business to be one day? Are there other businesses that you want to start? Is there a different route you want to go in? Maybe you like, I don't know, farming or something. I don't know. Is there anything else?
Could you picture me on a farm?
No, I couldn't. You own a pair of boots? I don't.
I own a pair of boots.
I know snow boots.
But,
I got snow boots.
I don't know if I really want to be working on a farm.
Yeah. But do you have any other businesses or do you have like end all be all goals?
Just to continue to grow and do what I'm doing. I love, what I always say is I love serving my community. I love going out in my community, meeting everyone, working with everyone, and just continuing to grow my business how it is. It's already touched so many people, but I'm ready to go
Touch
even
more.
further and keep going. That sounded dirty. Touch more people.
Through photography.
Through photography, yeah. But I just want to continue to grow and just keep doing what I'm doing because it's very fulfilling at the end of the day. I just sit there and I think about everything that I've accomplished so far, and I'm just so proud of myself. And little 5-year-old Presley with the Polaroid camera would be.
And now she's back with the whole Barbie thing.
Yeah, she'd be so proud of me. She'd have big tears in her eyes.
Well, maybe 10 years from now, she'll be even more proud. I thought of one more question I want to ask you before we get out of here. For people that are starting their own business, doesn't have to be specifically photography, but what is one tidbit of advice you can give those people?
Oh, goodness. I guess there's so many things I could say.
Or if you got a couple pieces, if you got a list, if you got 3 bullet points.
I mean, what would you tell people? You've been in the same boat as me.
Well, I don't give away my secrets. I'm just kidding.
Can I have one secret?
I would say to treat everybody on the same playing field. Yeah. Even if the client sucks, doesn't matter. Just treat them like,
we can't
pretend
say
like you
that
like them.
we have clients that suck because that's not very nice. But
we have clients from hell, but we just don't tell them that. But so just treat everyone the same way. You know, it's going to come back on you. And, you know, it's just better to avoid the disaster of burning that bridge, like we talked about on an early podcast.
Well, and you never know, like we just kind of go through the daily grind of just meeting the client, doing what we do, going on to the next photo shoot, whatever. You never realize how much of an impact you can have on someone.
Exactly.
I know last summer I had a kid he really didn't want his photo taken. And his mom emailed me later, and it was a really long email saying, you made him feel so good, so confident. He came out of his shell after the session. He felt so good. He walked a little bit taller, and it made me cry because
no, that's awesome though. That's what it's all about, honestly. So yeah, I mean, just treat everybody, even if they're, you know, not doing you the best, just treat everybody right. And
everyone gets treated with kindness and respect, as my mom says.
What's the golden rule? Treat people the way you want to be treated.
It's very true. Even if they're not treating you the same way you want to be treated, you got to still keep treating them
exactly.
that way.
And then I would say, you know, my other piece of advice would be position yourself as the person that people almost have to go with.
Yeah.
They want to go with the best option. It has to be used, whether that's, you know, whether that's the client experience, the product that you're giving them, the whole entire thing. Just make sure you perfect every little aspect of the process.
I'm really big on client experience. I like to make it a full experience when you come to me. So
yeah, and you're doing a great job at it. Well, thanks. Presley, that is all I got for you. Where can people find you on the www World Wide Web?
Facebook, Presley Photography, Instagram, all lowercase, Presley Photography _.
Perfect. That's where they can find you. Presley, thank you very, very much for coming on the episode.
Did I do good as the first female?
You did. I was just going to say, you did wonderful for the first female guest. So
okay. The next one has lots of shoes to fill, big shoes to fill.
No kidding, right? But
Dawn Palumbo.
Dawn Palumbo, she's calling you out. She said you got to come on the show. So
yeah, Dawn, get on here.
We're going to get you on here. Presley, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you guys for watching episode 6 of the Minot Business Podcast, and we will see you next Wednesday morning.
That's a wrap. Wiki, wiki, wiki.